So in this episode of Book of the Beast, we're going to be going back to the whiteboard and we're going to be talking about allies. And in this video, specifically Chaos Space Marine allies. Why Chaos Space Marines? Well, because they're the only army that's an ally of convenience under the new 7th edition allies chart. Everything else is going to be desperate or come the apocalypse. So there's a good reason there to start with Chaos Space Marines if you're thinking about taking allies in with your Orc army. So when you're thinking about taking some allied units, you got to think about what they can contribute to your existing Orc army. There's really not a lot of gaps in the Orc book, but there's definitely areas where we can get some help. And I think the three main areas are going to be one, Melta. Sure, we have a lot of light vehicle shooting, but nothing like a few Melta guns wouldn't add to it. So, and for number two, I think the next thing that we could use is some Fearless. Mob Rule is good, but Mob Rule is not Fearless. It's nowhere near as good as Fearless. And having some stuff that's Fearless could definitely aid in dealing with certain things. And I think number three, that we're also greatly lacking is, if I can write it, ignore cover. All three of these things are things that really don't get a lot of in the Orc book. And I think it's all three areas that the Chaos Space Marine specifically can add to your Orc list. So when building an allied list, they're pretty much going through this book. There's not a whole lot of things you would actually consider. I don't think there's a whole lot of units we would actually consider putting in an Orc army. The first one, of course, just to be simple, is a Chaos Lord. Let's start with the HQ section. So if we're going to take a Chaos Lord, what would you give him? Well, I think the obvious things to give him are the things you've probably seen on the table yourself. Be Nurgle, a bike, the Invul Save, whatever it's called, I forget, Invul Save. And then I would either give him the Burning Brand, which is a Torrent Flamer, that's AP3, or give him the Black Mace. Either way. So I can give him the Black Mace. Or Burning Brand. Or you just put them on foot if you want to run some foot units, like some Chaos Space Marines or something else like that. Giving them on foot is not that bad idea. But I think if you're going to be running a Chaos Lord, this is probably be the best way to run the Chaos Lord. It'll give you the speed and survivability and a lot of real hurting power one way or the other. Especially if you combine him with the, I'm sure you've seen this in tournaments also, combine him with some, let's see, go over the fast attack section. Spawn, that's it. So you take a full unit, you can have up to 5 spawn, and give them, of course, the Nurgle. Make them toughness 6. So this right here is an amazing complement to anything you want to do in your Orc army. They're fast, so you can, if you want to run a unit of Bike Star with them, you can run a Bike Star and then this unit of Spawn at the same time, and just really just push forward into your opponent with stuff that's really going to hurt. Because Spawns, they're fearless, they have a lot of attacks, they do have that Invul Save. And if you combine it with the Black Mace, you know, the chance of taking things out with their toughness saves is really awesome. The only downside to the Black Mace on the Chaos Lord is it's still only AP4. So you're probably not going to do a whole lot of wounds against heavily armored stuff. So that's why I'd probably take the Burning Brand and like a Power Fist or a Power Axe with him. My personal preference, give that AP3 shooting attack. It's a Torrent Flamer. It's just amazing. But anyway, this is a really good unit. There's a reason why people play this, is because it is really, really good. It gives you that fearless, which is something you desperately need against certain things. Personally, and their toughness 6. So that's another thing that I found had problems with, is dealing with strength 10 Wraith Knights. This unit would be a great counter to a Wraith Knight. Just run in there, beat it down with just a ton of attacks, and he's not going to, unless he casts the Force Power, he's not going to be instant deathing the Chaos Spawn. And even if he does cast his Force Power, at least you still got that invul save, because they are demons. Right? Fearfulness. Do they have an invul save? Page 41. Okay, so never mind. They're not demons. I thought they were demons. I take all of that back. So they don't have an invul save, which is fine. With toughness 6, they're still only going to be taking so many wounds from the fear, fearless, mutilated beyond region, rage, random attacks, very bulky. Okay, so they can't. So they're not demons. That kind of sucks, but they are fearless, and that's the important thing. Is to be able to tie up something like a Wraith Knight with its strength 10 attacks, and just knock it down and tie it up so it doesn't get away from you. So anyway, and then so these are great choices here. If you're going to complement a Chaos Lord on the bike with the Spawn and the Burning Brand, and then run up, and especially if you're running another fast unit like a Warbike Star, would just really prevent a lot of problems. And really, this isn't that many points. You're probably looking at, what, Nurgle 6, so 36. So you're looking at about 300 points here for this unit altogether, roughly. So that's what I'm going to take the Chaos Lord. The other options, of course, for the HQ would be a Sorcerer. And there's definitely nothing wrong with taking a Sorcerer. Of course, it gives you a nice Psyker. It's only 60 points base, just a basic level 1 Psyker. You can give them additional levels up to level 3 for 25 points each. You can give them Mark. Whatever, it gives you a nice additional Psyker, so you could be a good HQ choice to go if you're going to run something besides Nurgle. Complement that. You're especially going to take a Weird Boy. So yeah, that's Sorcerer is another good choice. And probably the last choice I would ever consider for a HQ choice would be a Daemon Prince. And this can get really spendy, but then you can really, really add quite a bit to your army. So, I mean, if you're going to run a Daemon Prince, you might as well kit him out. But he's going to be pushing 300 points. So you're going to give him Nurgle, Wings, Power Armor, and probably level 3. And doing all that gets you really close to right around 300 points. And so while that's a lot of points, the distraction and the psychic abilities and just simply the killing power a Nurgle Daemon Prince gives you to complement your orcs is really nice. So Nurgle, Wings, Power Armor, and level 3. And it's just a lot of killing power, and you've got a bunch of other stuff. You know, you can fly, so you can kind of. He's got the shrouding automatically, so if you can always get that 2-up cover save even out in the open if you jink, and you can kind of hold him back, move up with the rest of your army, and just add a real punch to go along with a unit of boys or a unit of bikes. So, I mean, if I was going to use this, I probably wouldn't run this super aggressive. I'd run it with the rest of your army and just do a multi-charge. Just get the Daemon Prince in there, waste the Overwatch on that, and run in with the boys, and you'll just slaughter anything you can come up against. So, those are the 3 HQ choices I would consider, personally, if I was going to run Chaos Space Marine Allies. Personally, I am going to build the Spawn and Chaos Lord on a bike combo for myself. For troops, I mean, pretty much it comes down to cultists. I probably would never take Chaos Space Marines. Even if I was playing Chaos Space Marines, I still wouldn't take Chaos Space Marines. But cultists basically fill in for your grots. So basically you would just use cultists however you would use your grots. And they would fill and do pretty much exactly the same thing. And you could even give them the marker Nurgles, only 2 points per models for fun. You know, it's a 60 points for 10 toughness 4 cultists. I would do it just for fun. I mean, it's not that many points. If you got them, use them. So 1 or 2 units of cultists, and then then you wouldn't need any grots to go in your own orc list. You'd be using the cultists, and cultists are actually quite a bit better than grots, especially if you give them the marker Nurgle for that extra toughness. When they're toughness 4, they have las guns, put quite a bit more shooting, so more toughness. They do actually have a save. So cultists are way better than grots and a good way to get some troops, to use troops in your allied list. So that's about it for this part. I'm probably make a part 2, going over the elites and other fast attack options and seeing if you want to get any heavy support. So this is going to be it for this episode of Book of the Beast. Talk to you guys later.